This will be a demonstration of seal and sea lion training. Once again, please join us in 5 minutes right here at Colma Harbor for the Spire Sparky Show. My name is Frank. I'm part of the interpretive staff here at Colma Park Zoo and Conservatory, and you are about to see a demonstration of the type of training we do with our pinnipeds. So raise your hands if you've heard the word pinniped before, 5 seconds ago when I just said it. Okay, a couple of you. Now raise your hands if you've never heard the word pinniped before. A lot more of you. That is okay. We are in Minnesota. You don't tend to run into a lot of pinnipeds just wandering down the sidewalk. So pinniped is a fancy way of saying fin-footed animal. And we use it to describe members of 3 groups of marine mammals. One group are seals, and we have 3 seals here. We have 2 harbor seals and a gray seal. Another group of pinnipeds are sea lions, and we're home to 3 California sea lions. So, Sparky shows have been a tradition at Como since 1956. And just a couple of years ago, we renovated our entire Sparky amphitheater area here, so this is probably a little different than what you remember if you saw it way back. Now, like I said, we're home to 3 California sea lions. And since we've been doing Sparky shows for so long, Sparky, the name Sparky is more like a character that they play. And we are up to 7 Sparkies. But right here, this is Poppy. This is one of our 7-year-old sea lions. Or are there any 7-year-old humans out in the audience? Okay, 7-year-old sea lions and 7-year-old humans have something in common. It is your attention span. All the parents are laughing harder than everybody else. Yeah, so let's have a warm welcome for Poppy here. Now, Subi is our official Sparky. She's taking a break today because she's been doing a lot of shows. That's her back there. So we're going to give Poppy the spotlight. So as a 7-year-old, she's a little bit younger, so she's still learning a lot more of the complex behaviors. And our training is basically cumulative. Every behavior leads into the next one. And there are a couple components to our training. So the zookeepers will give the animals a cue. That is a word that they say combined with a hand signal. And that's how they know what behavior they're being asked to do. And then you might have noticed the clicking noise as we've gotten started with the training. That click is a signal to the animal that they've done the right behavior and that a reward is on the way. So we use it kind of to bridge the behavior itself and their reward. Now, some of the behaviors are fairly mundane. Like I said, these are husbandry behaviors. This is for animal health care. So we might have them hold very still so the keeper can check their skin and fur for any irregularities or abrasions. And pinnipeds aren't very touchy-feely animals. They don't do, most sea creatures actually aren't very touchy-feely. So they're not very tactile. They don't get touched very often by each other. So we have to get them used to being touched by a vet. So we'll practice some of that. We'll have them do things where we can kind of take a look at their balance, take a look at the range of motion of their limbs, make sure that everything is healthy and they don't have any joint problems. You might have noticed just before, Poppy was showing her teeth. Well, honestly, if I don't see every hand in the audience, I'm going to have questions. But yeah, sea lions here, they will get their teeth brushed every day. And if you take a good look at Poppy while she's working, you might notice her teeth are actually brown rather than white like ours. Now, can you think of a time in the wild where a sea lion might have to go out in the ocean, retrieve something, and bring it back? Maybe hunting, maybe bringing food back for their young. So we will actually work on behaviors that help them express their kind of natural instincts that they would have in the wild as well. Now, everybody on our stages here right now are sea lions, and they are different from seals because they use their flippers in a different way. So as you're watching Poppy, you'll notice that she's walking on all 4 flippers as if they're legs. She's actually able to rotate her hind flippers under her body, and she can even go in reverse. That is something a sea lion or a seal That is something a sea lion can do, whereas a seal cannot. Seals have much shorter flippers. Their front flippers don't quite reach the stage, and they'll use their back flippers to kind of kick themselves along like a big inchworm. Now we'll also use certain devices in training. We'll use a target. We'll start with a target that's just a blue and white ball on a stick. We might just have the keeper use their hand once they get good enough to that, but the first behavior that they learn is to come up and approach a target. If they touch it with their nose, they learn that they get a reward, and we're able to shape every other behavior with that. So when we start teaching them a new behavior, like maybe doing a chin stand like this, we'll use a target to kind of guide them through the motions of that behavior. And once they get good enough and understand what the keeper wants them to do, we'll move away from the target. So you can see Poppy has been working on the chin stand enough that she didn't need the target. Then we just demonstrated, some very simple target behaviors. And with all the laughter I'm hearing from the audience, there is a third purpose to our training. That is the reason we do it as a show like this. It helps you all start to develop a little empathy for our animals. You start to get to know them as individuals. So if you're watching both groups of animals, Poppy up here and those guys in the back, you'll notice that a lot of them are working on the same behaviors, but there's a little difference in how they do them, and that's just their own personalities. I told you they'd switch and check out each other's buckets. So yeah, the really big guy in the corner there, that is Nico. He is the other 7-year-old, and then right up front here is Subi. She's the 15-year-old. So sea lions will live between usually 25 to even 30 years old. So our guys are all still really young and have a lot more training ahead of them. And we also do this training with all of our animals, as I started to say. So I have a homework assignment for you all. Once you leave the amphitheater here, go visit some of our other exhibits. Even if you've seen them all already, check them out for something new. Look for items like the ones you saw us using on stage with our training. Also look for a training area. In a lot of places like Gorilla Forest and Polar Bear Odyssey, it'll be separated from the rest of the exhibit by mesh. And that's where we'll do the same kind of training as we did with these guys. Our polar bears, in fact, have gotten to the point where they can put their paw in a specialized sleeve and just wait patiently while the zookeeper takes a blood sample from them. So it actually helps us and the animals a lot if they're able to participate in their own health care. So